Yes, Yolanda Robinson in the know. And do I have a treat for you? I have on as our guest on the show, Norma Richards, and she has a story that every parent in our community should know, especially if you want to send your son to daughter to college. She wrote the book. She is the author of the popular. I mean, I can't even keep this book in my house, y'all, because every time I was looking for it to hold up in the screen, and somebody in my family is borrowing it. If you're watching this video, give me my book back. But anyway, she wrote Free Ride to College. Norma, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm so
Oh,
happy to
that's
be here.
wonderful.
Um I just spoke to a group of students this morning at the Metro School. And
Uh,
so that was really interesting. So yeah, I am just so overjoyed to be able to inspire kids and parents
yes,
to get
yes, yes.
ready for college.
And I'm so glad that you documented. Could you give the listening audience a little bit about your background and why you decided to write the book "Free Ride to College"?
Absolutely. So, as you can see on the screen here, just a little bit about me. I'm a wife, a mother, and I have 6 children, 3 of them my biological children.
Uh-huh.
And so I went to Howard University, and I'm actually a chemist and microbiologist. But the reason why I wrote the book is because you see this picture here.
Mhm.
I wanted to make sure that me and my husband, when we got this age, we had the ability to go and relax and not be concerned about helping our kids. And so what we are doing now is we travel together, and then we're building some property. So that's what you see here in the
Mhm.
picture, and that's what I wanted to be able to do once I was retirement age, which I am. So I wrote the book to have some freedom. I mean, I wrote the book to help other people. I take that back, but
Uh-huh.
that's what inspired me to write the book.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. All
Yeah,
right. Well, that is great. I know that the book is a 411 on applying for grants and scholarships. You even have in the book, as I recall, some sample letters that you write, what the universities are looking for. What could you tell the listening audience? What are universities looking for when students are applying for school?
well, first of all, let me tell them that you can go to freeridetocollege.com and download my book.
Oh, great.
Now, what they are looking for, they want to give money to students who are interested in the following majors: engineering, physicists, airline pilots, accountants, medical professionals, cybersecurity, IT, because we need chips for everything. We've got Intel moving right here to the area, and we need a lot of therapists. So they're looking for students that have high academic achievement, of course, but not always. High ACT scores.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they're looking for people with really good work ethics. That's really important. And to be able to write, writing an essay is very important because you have to be able to communicate. So I'm an advocate of taking your kids out and getting them ready for those to compete for scholarships, because they're competitive. Getting into college is competitive, and getting scholarships is competitive. But the good news is, here in Columbus, when you um, graduate from the Columbus City Schools and your parents make less than 60, I think it's 60 or $70,000 a year, if you get into the university, guess what?
What?
You get a full ride, period.
At the community college, right?
At the community college and at Ohio State.
You can get a full ride at Ohio State if you make under.
yes, if your family qualifies for the Pell Grant,
Uh-huh.
the students that qualify for the Pell Grant, this has been going on since I don't know. Maybe 2018 or 19, I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, if your parents
That's news to me. That's wonderful.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I was in the campus and they didn't have that opportunity for students at that time. That is awesome. So they can
So
go
the
if they make
key,
under 6,000, 60,000 a year.
right. So
Wow.
the key is you have to get into main campus.
Uh-huh.
All right. If you're admitted and you qualify for the Pell Grant,
Yes.
your tuition is free.
Wow. That's a big burden off of a
Mhm.
lot of
The
families.
same thing at Columbus State.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's wonderful. That's one.
Mhm.
Now, when you are looking for scholarships or grants to help you with school, because certainly school costs a lot of money now these days, and it's wonderful that they're taking the income up to 60,000 so people can go to school. But when they're looking, how important is your test scores?
So your ACT and SAT test
Hmm.
scores. Now,
Hmm.
to be honest with you, they used to be really, really important.
Hmm.
But since the pandemic, what happened was people weren't able to go take the ACT and SAT
Uh-huh.
because we couldn't be around a lot of people. But to be honest with you, they have relaxed that, and a lot of schools say, well, you don't even have to take it now. But
Hmm.
what will they have to go on? They're going to
Hmm.
go on your class rank. So
Hmm.
where do you rank in your class? How competitive is your school that
Hmm.
you went to? And you can still take it, and that's going to give you an edge, particularly if you get a good score on it,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
And so that's what I would say about the ACT and SAT.
mhm,
Obviously, you want to prepare for those tests.
mhm,
The
mhm.
people who do well, the students who do well, practice. Like I made my kids start taking it in sixth grade.
You're
So
in the sixth grade. They started preparing for the test.
no, they took their first test in sixth grade,
Which test was that?
the ACT.
ACT. Oh wow!
Yeah,
Now you know a
ACT.
lot of parents don't do that. They wait until maybe the 12th grade or when and start taking the ACE. But you prepared your children to take the ACT test in the sixth grade.
Exactly. In
My
sixth grade. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to make sure that they were good students, right?
mm-hmm,
And so when you have a really smart student, they think they know everything.
mm-hmm.
So you have to show them what they don't know. Does
Uh-huh.
that make sense?
Yes.
So they took the test, and I don't really, my one daughter told me I didn't really try, and she got a terrible score.
Uh-huh.
But I think she stopped trying because she realized she didn't know everything.
Uh-huh.
And so that made her work harder.
Uh-huh.
Now, I did have to pay for her to take the test, but I think back then it was only like 35, maybe $25. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it's much more now, but it's worth it. I'd rather spend the money. I'd rather spend $50
Yeah.
up front than
Yes.
50,000 later.
Yes. Yes.
So she took it, and that gave her a baseline score. And then
Uh-huh.
that way she knew what she had to work on, right?
Uh-huh. Wow.
So the earlier your students take it, because you don't have to send the scores out,
Uh-uh.
you just take the test to get
Uh-huh.
a feel of what it's like to be under that kind of pressure
Yeah.
and you need to know.
Can you imagine the advantage that you gave your children in going and taking the test and preparing for college? They were at an advantage even for before some of the people. Well, when I was in the university, a lot of the professors would send their children to Kaplan or one of those schools to
To
help
get ready
their
for it.
students prepare for the test. But
Sure.
the average person doesn't know about that. And so they go right in and take the test and get discouraged because they may not know, as you said, as much as they think they know when they take the
Right.
test. But that
Right.
that is a good strategy for a parent that really
Oh
wants their
yeah.
children to go to school.
Have them to take it early and don't worry about what the score is going to be, and
Yes.
just tell them to do their best, and then we can work from there.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And how did they work from there? What did you do after you got the scores? They were in the sixth grade, and you got the scores. What did you do after that, Norma?
Well, when you get the scores back, it'll tell you what scores you got in each category. Like, for example, trigonometry, algebra, geometry. So you know specifically where you need to get help and what your weaknesses are. So from there, we got tutors.
Wow.
I didn't tutor them, but from there they were tutored on, and so they scored like in the 30s on the ACT.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so that like I said, that was a big advantage for your what are your children doing now?
Well, my daughter Brianna, she is, I'm going to show you what she's doing. She is actually a food, agriculture, and biological engineer. And
Oh
she
my
works
God.
for Smithfield. So that's her.
Oh wow.
She majored in food, agriculture, and biological engineer, and she works at Smithfield Foods. And I always tell my kids, you don't have to be a genius, you just have to be curious. And so that was our mantra around here. Now, my son is a software engineer.
Wow.
And he designs software that, for example, detects cancer in the body. And he's worked on all kinds of projects. So that he lives in San Diego. The first girl, she lives in Minnesota. And then my other daughter, Victoria, she actually works for NASA.
Wow.
And she's a engineer at NASA. And so I took my grandkids to NASA right there. And that's a 747 with the space shuttle on top of it. So I took them there so that they could see their aunt at work. So that's what my kids are doing now.
Now, are your grandkids taking the test at an early age?
Oh yeah. Well, they're not in the sixth grade yet. I think they were in the fifth grade this year. Well, that was 2022. I took them to NASA. But yeah, they will take it. Absolutely. So I take them on little educational trips. That is a part of our vacation.
Wow.
And we go to college visits, just like I did with my kids. They went to visit over 100 colleges before they decided where they wanted to go.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, whose responsibility is it? Because I know that I've talked to some parents and they said, well, we didn't get the application in because the counselor didn't let us know or anything. Would you talk about whose responsibility is it to look for those scholarships and to try to prepare for college?
Well, it obviously is the parents, the students, and the schools. However,
yes,
when this parent, when it comes down to it, this is the reason why I became an expert on getting scholarships. And I wrote the book. It's a plan. It's a process. You can't just, if you really planned it, you would never wait until the last minute. You would do it yourself on your own initiative. Because when it comes down to it, when your child is off at college and they need money, who are they calling the school to ask them for money?
Yeah.
They're not. They're calling you as a parent. So I was afraid my kids would be calling me because, we really do have 6 children. Calling me asking for money that I just did not have. And, so it is my responsibility as a parent. I don't care what the school system is doing. It's my responsibility because I'm the one that's going to have to give them money if they don't have it.
Yes.
They're not going to call the school.
Yes.
Their teachers,
they'll be calling mom or dad.
They calling me.
Yeah.
So it's as a parent, it is my responsibility.
Oh wow, that is wonderful that you did that. Now, when I was on campus and we had a committee that was reviewing who got the fellowships and everything, many people uh, would wait to the last minute. They failed to plan, and you had some very good students that had high academic scores, but they had already made the decision on the deadline. So you're absolutely right. It's that you got to plan. Now, did you start applying when they were in the 12th grade or the 11th grade? When did your children apply for college? When did they begin?
Well, at the end of junior year,
Uh-huh.
okay, so this coming May, this is February, March, April, May.
Mm-hmm.
In 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
your junior is a senior.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really not enough time to prepare for everything that you have to do if you do it right. But so I'm saying do plan early and, get the book. It's a
Oh, yeah.
guide. It's a guide to show you what to do, what to have in place and when, because it is overwhelming. I think a lot of people don't get scholarship, not because they are not qualified, but they're overwhelmed by the time that they start applying and trying to get this thing done.
Yeah.
Because I methodically thought about how I can get this done, because my kids got over $500,000 worth of money to go to school. And for me, I didn't let them work in their junior year. They did community service.
Uh-huh.
Because that is the way, that's worth more than money.
Because you do get credit when they're looking at those applications if they're doing community service. I guess it's still like that, but the committee that looks at those applications are more favorable for that student that is out there giving back in the community, doing volunteer work and community service.
Absolutely, because if they're going to give you thousands of dollars, they want to know that you will in turn do something for the community as well. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. Wow.
And to finish answering your question, when did they apply? Everything they had to have all of their college applications in by the time we sat down to Thanksgiving dinner. Otherwise, they didn't eat.
Oh, Mom!
That was the criteria.
I'm
If you want to
serious,
eat, you better have that stuff in.
Wow, wow. But guess what? You did it, and now you're reaping the benefits. You don't have any college loans that you have to pay back. And
Right.
you and your husband are on the beach just enjoying yourself and looking at the rewards and what. Oh, that must be a wonderful, wonderful feeling when your children are all graduated. They're all engineers. They don't have to call you back and say, "Hey, Mom, can I borrow this?"
No, I'm borrowing money from them.
Help you. That was a good plan, Norma. But you know what? Everybody needs this book. Everybody, any parent is highly recommended. And if you don't believe me, ask one of my family members. If you know my sister, my sister, they have the book, and people that I know, I recommend the book because it has everything you need to know on getting a grant or scholarship to go to college. It's Free Ride to College by Norma Richardson. Norma, you just keep doing it, helping people. And I would just like to thank you for the work that you're doing, that you're putting in, helping parents and students. It's just awesome. It's wonderful for every parent to have that. And I had to, before we close though, tell people how they can get a copy of the book and how they can contact. Oh, you got your telephone number in there. How they can contact you. You can see it on the screen. How they can contact you if they want a workshop and you want more information about preparing for college.
Yeah, well, as you indicated, right there beside my name is my phone number. And I'm sharing my screen, and can you see freeridetocollege.com on the screen share?
Yes, yes, yes.
So you can go to my website and you can learn more there. And I look forward to encouraging and helping families to get their kids, first of all, ready for college. Because once you get in, you got to be able to handle the work.
Yes.
And secondly, to get it paid for.
Yes, yes, that's so wonderful. Well, thank you, Norma, for being on this week's program of Ask Yolanda Robinson. Everybody, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right down there, and also share this video. Share it with all the parents you know that are preparing to get to college, and get that book, okay? So I thank you, and thank you for being on the show. And everybody out there, I'll see you next week. Love you.